You are a fart factory. Slug-slimed sack of rat guts and cat vomit. Cheesy scab-picked, pimple-squeezing finger bandage. A week-old maggot burger with everything on it and flies on the side.
Substitute chemistry teacher?
Come on, Rufio, hit him back.
Mung-tung.
Math tutor?
Pinhead.
Prison barber?
Mother lover.
Nearsighted gynecologist?
In your face, camel cake.
In your rear, cow derriere?
Lying, crying, spying, prying, ultra pig.
You lewd, crude, rude, bag of pre-chewed food dude?
Masquerade Peter! You man! Stupid man!
Rufio, if I'm a maggot burger, why don't you just eat me? You two-toned, zebra-headed, slime-coated, pimple-farming, paramecium brain, munching on your own mucus, suffering from Peter Pan envy!
What's a paramecium brain?
I'll tell you what a paramecium is. That's a paramecium. It's a one-celled critter with no brain that can't fly. Don't mess with me, man. I'm a lawyer.
Battling terrible allergies, so hopefully I'm not sniffing into the microphone all the time.
Same. I have like a headache and I can't see very good.
So just listen. Everybody turn your stereos up real high. Turn your headphones up real high and listen to the little whistling my nose is going to make this whole time.
All right. Let's get it cracking.
Welcome to the Perfect Movie Podcast, the podcast where we answer the question, is this a perfect movie? I'm Michael.
I'm Kalen.
And today we are continuing our Steven Spielberg summer series.
Steven Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg. And we're doing Hook. A personal favorite of yours, Kalen.
Yes.
Apparently. I'll let you talk about your childhood connection to Hook in 1 second, but first, a lot of times during this podcast we've been watching movies where we said, dang, they don't make them like that anymore.
Yeah.
This is like the opposite. This is all they make anymore.
Yeah.
You can like just hear the man in a boardroom like smoking a stogie going like, hey, you know what they like? They like the Peter Pans.
This is like, there's how many Peter Pan movies now?
I don't know.
There has to be a lot.
I kept trying to Google this movie and accidentally looking up Pan, which apparently is another movie.
Well, that one came out in the early 2000s, I think like 2002 or something.
It's just one word.
And then there was another one that was like Pan that came out in like 2011.
Oh, I don't even know which one was showing up.
And then there was another one that recently came out, and the big thing about that was that the guy who played Pan or Peter Pan was like a Indian kid, and so everybody freaked out because they're like, Peter Pan is a white man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. They're going to be, I feel like Peter Pan is a thing that's going to be probably like splooged out every decade or so.
I mean, it kind of worked on me. I haven't watched, Peter Pan is not like massive in my life, but they're, I know all these familiar people. So like, especially in the first half of the movie when we're getting like the setup and it's like, oh, it's old Wendy and it's, old Peter.
I think this is the most interesting concept for like a Peter Pan sequel or like something to do with Peter Pan. So
I might be, one of those like elves aren't black people when I say this, but canonically, is Tinkerbell not blonde?
I have no idea.
Tinkerbell is blonde. Look at her. Look at this image.
Well, that's the Disney version. I mean, Peter Pan is based on a book.
That's true.
Which is also, then there's a stage play that came before any of the movies.
Okay, well, I didn't know you were a Peter Pan.
I don't know. I feel like this is pretty common knowledge.
I guess.
Have you seen the original Disney film?
Yeah, of course.
You remember the really racist scene that they had in there that they cut out in all the like the Disney Plus version?
No. Right now, I'm flashing back to Jungle Book and like the
the monkeys,
the monkeys that do like
jazz music.
Yeah. like scatting chimps.
Disney went on a purge of like all their old movies and just started ripping out all these really racist scenes, like the crows in Dumbo, where they literally had a crow named Jim Crow.
Yeah.
And then so Peter Pan, the scene that they ripped out was the when they met the natives, the Indians on this island, and it was like how did the song was like, how did the red man become red or something. It was really racist.
That's cool.
Anyways, no racism in this one. It's actually a very diverse cast of characters, especially the Lost Boys.
Truly, the lost boys of diversity. Okay, should we get into it?
Let's do it.
Wait, I was going to ask you about your childhood.
Yes.
So you said Hook is a childhood classic of yours.
Yes. I owned this movie on VHS. I used to watch it there was a time where I would just watch movies like every day, and this was one of them that I would throw on quite a bit. I really loved Robin Williams. I think he's like universally just kind of beloved by everybody. He definitely he has a place in every childhood, I feel like. People kind of grew up watching him. He started out doing stand-up, then he was on a bunch of TV shows, different things like that. So he's just a very well-rounded person as far as like his influence in pop culture, basically. So.
All right, so with that, we'll get into the performance test.
It was the performance of a lifetime!
And I think we can start again with Robin Williams, who is just, that's perfect casting. You're bringing back Peter Pan, and it's going to be an older Peter Pan who's forgotten, about his magic, forgotten his past. And, like, Robin Williams, that's the man you need. Like, he just so embodies the, like, childlike energy.
Yes.
In an adult man, and in a way that's endearing and not like this guy.
Yeah. He's able to do like slapstick comedy, and then he's also able to like take on a more serious tone and stuff, and especially with the more like dramatic scenes and different things like that.
I mean, you just scroll down his IMDb and it's like Patch Adams and then Good Will Hunting, like
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah. He does both.
Yeah. He is what you call an artiste, a true artiste. He is a master, or was a master of his craft. So, R.I.P.
Wow. Brad, hi. You been holding this long? Uh-huh. I'm incredible. Yeah. Neverland. Uh-huh. Lost Boys. Jim Hook. Duel to the death. I'll fill you in later. Listen, I'd love to chat, but I gotta climb a drain pipe right now. Why? Because I ran out of fairy dust. If not, I would have flown up. Why?
Also, I wanted to shout out Dustin Hoffman as Captain Hook.
Yeah.
He steals every scene he's in. He's great.
Yeah. For a movie called Hook, I could have used more Hook in it.
Yeah.
Because every time, like, that's the most enjoyable part of this movie. There's the before we return to Neverland. There's that part, and then it kind of diverges into two different paths. There's the Hook section, and then there's the Peter Pan section with the Lost Boys.
Right.
The Hook section is just so much more entertaining.
Yeah.
During that portion of the movie.
All the pirates are great, too.
Yeah. We can also shout out Bob Hoskins as Smee.
Smeeth.
He's literally the best part of the movie. He's like the
ultimate hype man.
The Wayne Knight honorary award for stupid guy that that steals the movie.
Yeah.
It's Smee. It's Bob Hoskins as Smee.
I love the scene where Dustin Hoffman is like trying to shoot himself, and
I was like, this got dark.
It did, but I don't know how they pulled that scene off, but it was pretty funny.
No stopping me this time, Smee. This is it. Don't make a move, Smee. Not a step. My finger's on the trigger. Don't try to stop me, Smee. Oh, not again. This is it. Don't try to stop me this time, Smee. Don't try to stop me this time, Smee. Don't you dare try to stop me this time, Smee. Try to stop me. Smee, you better get up off your ass. Get over here, Smee. I'm coming. Smee, this is not a joke. I'm committing suicide. Don't ever frighten me like that again. I'm
sorry.
Well, are you some kind of a sadist?
I'm sorry. How's you feel now?
I want to die.
Oh, no.
There's no adventure here.
You call this no adventure?
Death is the only great adventure I have left me.
Come on, let's get you into bed.
It was really funny. I'm a first time viewer of this movie, so me watching this, I'm like, oh, this is like, it's childlike, it's fun for the whole family type vibe. And then there's a couple jokes. There's a flower sniffing Robin
crotch,
Williams dick, and there's yeah, Captain Hook just trying to off himself gun to head in the middle of this movie. But
Don't try to help me, Smee.
Yeah, it is the way that he keeps saying, you can't even stop me.
Try to stop me.
Don't try to stop me. And then Smee's just sitting there like, yeah.
And then at the end he was like, no, don't ever scare me like that again.
Yeah, toxic trait. I'm pretty sure there are a couple in this movie. Gotta be.
Yeah, for sure.
Gotta be. And Smee, you gotta turn tail. This is a toxic relationship.
Yeah, man.
If somebody threatens to kill themselves just for attention
and then gaslights you at the end, that's an issue.
Red flag. I also love when I forget what plan Smee comes up with, but he comes up with the I'm gonna turn the Robin Williams son against him plan. Mm-hmm. And then I love when Dustin Hoffman's like, I've come up with a great idea.
Yeah. And let's see, who else is in Julia Roberts is in this movie.
I'm gonna say Julia Roberts, bless her heart. I don't think this is the role for her.
Well, she was British. I think that's partially why, because it's set in London, so they needed a British actor. I
think it's mostly that well, I guess maybe it's not canonical, but I associate Tinkerbell in the hands of Disney as
I'm thinking the wrong woman.
Oh.
I'm thinking of...
You're thinking of the wife.
The wife, yeah.
Julia Roberts is Tinkerbell.
Yes.
And I just think Julia Roberts... I love Julia Roberts, but she's kind of like... Her energy is more sarcastic.
Yeah.
And more like slower and downbeat.
Yeah.
And you need Tinkerbell to be kind of like zippy.
Yeah. I didn't think Tinkerbell talked. That was another thing. I don't know.
And she's also got like... No shots, but just a little bit deeper voice for a lady. So they're doing a lot of like digital work to make her be up here sometimes.
Yeah.
And it's just a little like you know who I picture being really good in this part, and it'll be around the same time. You know Jennifer Jason Leigh. She was in the Hudsucker Proxy.
Yes.
I think you could apply that same energy she does in that role to like Tinkerbell.
Right.
Where she's just talking fast and can't sit still.
Also, that character is a little weird because she's like a grown woman and she's hanging out with all these little boys, and she's also like that she's like sexually attracted to Peter Pan, and probably since he was a child. So that's it's bizarre.
I have some issues with a lot of just the way that unfolds.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get in that and let the hate flow through you.
Who has been old my entire life?
Yeah. I looked her up, and then I looked up, is she still alive? And yes, bless her heart.
Somehow she's older than than she was in Harry Potter. I think they put some DH or some makeup on her to make her look even older.
Well, they did a great job because she looks exactly how she looks when she got older. I don't know how they did it.
But she's great as a older Wendy.
Remember when everyone was doing those Facebook filters that would turn
the
you
old people filters? Yeah.
That's how the AIs all got your fucking faces, guys. That's how they did it.
You're going to look like that one day. Screenshot that for reference.
She's really great. She carries a lot of the beginning of the movie.
And the emotional aspect to it. And then who else we got? I think all the kids are pretty good except for his actual children.
Yeah. That's kind of the problem.
Yeah.
The daughter, I kind of liked her energy, but not great at acting. And when they cut to her singing that song, I'm like, this is not a good song. Do we know this song? Why is everyone listening to this song?
It was a song her mother sang to her when she was a child.
Okay, sure. Well, she didn't sing it very good, but everybody, this was like the first time they heard music, I think, at Never Neverland.
But the Lost Boys were great. They were a lot of fun.
Shout out to, what is his name, Thud?
Just a fat kid. Thud.
He's the best.
Oh, when he rolls up into a ball.
He just does. He says cannonball and then rolls, tucks himself into a ball and rolls twice.
Probably my favorite scene of the movie is when they're doing the imaginary eating. That's just a fun scene. Very magical.
Oh, that ties into something that is Steven Spielberg's staple. People are getting gooped on.
You know what? I was gonna mention that. I was like, now that you've noticed it, now that you mentioned it, I'm gonna notice it in every single Spielberg
Well,
movie.
have you not? Okay, let's just back up. I don't know what the hell they were eating that was multicolored and pasty. The way they were throwing it at each other.
Oh yeah, it was like food colored mashed potatoes.
Yeah, whatever it was crazy. And men, women, and children, like no one's safe. Julia Roberts is on a different set and she gets gooped on. You know,
And it was like a lot more goop because she's small, so they
Yeah.
had to make it, the proportions
look
accurate.
like cum. I mean, look like goop.
Does that happen in E.T.? I feel like there's some goopy stuff in E.T. too.
I'm trying to think because we're going to do Minority Report next, and I've watched Minority Report, and I'm trying to think of any gooping. I mean, there's characters that just kind of lay in goop at all times. Anyways. Anyways.
I liked Rufio a lot, the Asian kid, and he was like the kid that took over the mantle of Peter Pan.
We need to
or
go
of the
back when
Pan.
gangs all,
Had
were dressed like
mohawks
this.
and cut off like biker's vest or whatever. Yeah.
I love when they're gearing up for battle and they're all the guy like steps into the like all those
Yeah.
bamboo slats and
Yeah.
it like unfurls. There's a lot of good, like really entertaining stuff. I think my main issue, if we're gonna go like long view with the movie, is just that I think it's too long and it has too many things.
Yes. There's a lot at all times.
But there's some really, like, I did laugh a few times. The Lost Boys is like my least favorite segment, but there are moments that redeem them. Like,
Yeah.
they also were the biggest gut busters, some of their stuff.
There was like this really like emotional scene when Peter Pan first arrives, and they're like, Rufio's like draws a line in the sand, and he's like, okay, I have the sword, I'm the Pan now, and stuff. And all the kids run over to the side, and that little kid walks up to him, is like checking his face, taking off his glasses. Do you remember the scene?
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, oh, there you are, Peter. And then this music comes in, and it just really swells. And I was like watching it, and I was like, I don't know why I was getting teary-eyed a little bit. I don't know. That was just like a really emotional scene for like no reason. And I thought it was really well done. So.
Oh, there you are, Peter.
But Peter, you've grown up. You promised never to grow old.
Peter.
His nose got real big.
I agree. I'm trying to think. There was definitely a moment I was getting a little misty. I don't think it was that moment, though. Don't worry. If one moment doesn't get you, this movie is going to try 12 other times to get you to cry before it ends. And Kaylin, we've witnessed a baseball scene to rival the Twilight baseball scene
Oh yeah,
of legend.
Yeah. And this one is with kids. so-
Pirates baseball.
Oh, Pirates baseball. I thought you meant the
No.
baseball in the beginning.
The baseball at the beginning was okay, but that was pretty standard movie making. I'm talking about the pirate baseball game.
Yeah.
Like that was one of the things. Like, this is a movie that actually, so they yank Peter Pan back to Narnia. Because Hook kidnapped his kids, allegedly. And then we're going to have a battle in 3 days, is how that all ends.
Yeah.
And then the movie's just kind of like spinning plates until it decides to end. And some of the spinning plates is great. Like, what are we going to do? Pirates have a baseball game because the boy, his only character trait is he likes baseball.
And his dad never showed up to his baseball games.
He's like a NPC character that just like, when he stands there, he tosses the ball up and down,
Yeah. Or when he walks past you, he just mentions something about the ball game or something.
For the first, like, he's sitting inside a school gymnasium watching like a kindergarten play.
Yeah.
With a baseball and glove.
And then he's throwing his baseball in the airplane.
Up against the ceiling, which they make it seem like. So a lot of this stuff is like daddy problems, daddy issues. Peter Pan, he's lost his innocence and he's lost his love, and now he's just buried. He's just a businessman, and he's buried in his business, and he doesn't have time for his family.
Classic, like Hallmark 90s trope.
But like, particularly the son is just a little asshole. So it's like,
both the kids are just incredibly annoying. I wouldn't want to be around them either. Sorry.
They have like targeted attacks for when Robin Williams is most focused. Whenever he answers his cell phone, they're like, "Daddy, Daddy."
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I work with kids, so kind of realistic.
But then it's like, also, it's like your father is working to give you a better life, and then the wife is like, "You need to spend time with them," and he's like, "Bitch, this is like the biggest thing I got going on right now. Do y'all want things?"
Yeah.
You know,
this vacation we suddenly went up and took across the ocean
to England.
Do you know what paid for that?
These cell phone calls is what paid for it.
Which, like, the cell phone getting tossed into the snow. Like, this movie has to sew up everything at the end, and my biggest issue with this movie is about an hour 45 minutes. I was ready for it to be done, and there's a whole 30 minutes after that. And don't worry, it's gonna tie up everything. Remember that phone that got thrown in the snow at minute 20? Oh, Robin Williams is gonna pick up that call when he gets back,
and the guy is still on there. He was gone for like 2 days. And then
a plot on Robin Williams of having the dexterity to climb up a rain pipe.
Oh yeah. Well, he had that Peter Pan energy after that.
He's feeling youthful.
No,
that's what happens when they take, like when Hillary Clinton takes the pheromones out of little children.
That's what happens with the adrenochrome.
The adrenochrome? Yeah. That's what Peter Pan's hopped up on. It's an adrenochrome-rich environment.
That's crazy. No, I was going to say, there's so many tropes, like these kind of 90s, like family movie tropes. In the beginning, you see that scene where he's in his office and he's like walking, and there's like 80 people like walking behind him, and they're like all telling him things about work. And he's like, "I'm too busy, too busy." That's like a trope. I don't know. That's happened a lot.
Yeah, they all like stand in a perfectly segmented line to say goodbye to him and say their lines one by one.
And they're like, "Make sure you do this and make sure you do that." And
that stuff I find endearing, though. Like, that part I liked. A lot of the before we go to Neverland.
You like those scenes?
I liked a lot of the first half of the movie more.
Dad'll be here. I promise.
Jerry, Jack, Jim, I said that. Why don't you take the video camera, go to the game ahead of me, film what I miss.
Can I say something? Mr. Banning, this is the speech for your grandmother's tribute.
On cards?
Oh, yes, sir.
Number those. Who wrote it?
Ned Miller.
Oh, I love his annual report.
Yeah.
Read it back to me.
Lord Whitehall, honored guest. For the past 70 years, the Granny Wendy we honor tonight has given hope and care and life to hundreds of homeless children and orphans.
Great, very personal.
Mom, where is Daddy?
Okay.
And then I liked all the Captain Hook stuff. It was more just like there's just a lot of extraneous things.
Yeah.
Is my issue. But it has its charm.
It does.
This movie really got panned critically. We didn't talk about the reception, but it did not. It made decent money, but it was like, if you look up the Rotten Tomatoes right now, it's at 27%. And like,
which is kind of crazy. I don't think it deserves that. I think this is definitely like a 60% movie. 60 to 70%.
A subpar Spielberg movie is still like pretty good.
Yeah.
And the production is wonderful. It's just got a little too much going on.
It does. We can mention that more so in It's an Art or Let the Hate Flow Through. But I agree with that sentiment.
I just want to shout out one more scene before we go.
Yeah.
And it's when Peter Pan falls into the water and has a mermaid foursome.
I forgot about that.
I was going like, hell yeah, mermaid threesome, and then that third girl popped out of nowhere, and I was like, whoa.
That whole scene.
Everybody wants to kiss him on the lips.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why it's like he was a child before this, and he must have had a freaky-ass time in Neverland when he was a kid. Because he's coming back, all these old flings are coming in.
I know.
You know?
He's like, oh, my old ladies.
That whole scene looked terrible. That they had this like little underwater like lift. It was like a clam that took him up or something. It looked awful. It looked like one of those things that you would see at the zoo where like the Little Mermaid lady is swimming around with the fish and stuff. It looked terrible. It looked fucking awful. Anyways.
Let me tell you, none of those mermaids were black. Like Halle Bailey.
Yeah. I mean, even though this movie was very progressive for the time.
In the canceled Disney movie that we don't speak of anymore.
Javier Bardem was in that movie.
King Triton?
Yeah. He needed a check.
Oscar winner.
Yeah.
Let's move on?
Yes.
Let's move on to It's an Art, Bro, where we talk about the aspects of the filmmaking process, like sets, effects, lighting, music.
What's this? It's an art project?
Okay, I like it. Picasso. Yeah, that way.
So I think the part that shines in this movie, and also partially a critique as well, is the sets in this. It's all practical for the most part. There's a couple like well, I noticed it looked kind of bad when they panned out and they showed the entirety of Neverland. It looked a little bad. I think it was like a matte painting in the background, something like that. But for the actual individual sets, they looked good, but also it was like a little too much going on, like you were saying.
The sets are very set-like.
Yeah.
It feels like in like the expensive stage play a lot of the time.
Yes.
Because there's just dozens of extras in a lot of the scenes, both with the Lost Boys and with Hook.
Yeah.
And those are kind of like the two different locations.
Well, the pirate scenes, there's like 1,000 fucking people at one time. It's kind of nuts. Obviously, there's a lot of work that went into this. There's a lot of costumes involved, for sure.
There's a lot of fun little details. Like, I love how Captain Hook refuses to walk down the stairs unless his little electric, like, red carpet.
Oh, yeah.
retractable red carpet goes down.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got like he puts his hook away every night before bed, or when he's got like the ship steering wheel in his bedroom, and they twist it and his bed comes down. That looked really fun. The whole scene with the food fight or whatever that I was talking about, that scene looked great. Yeah, there's a lot of little charms. There's a lot of heart to this film. That from that aspect, I enjoyed it.
I love how they constantly framing the hook like in front of your face, like in the foreground in front of people as they speak. He's constantly using it to threaten people, and his various attachments. Like at some point he has a smoking
yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Attachment.
Yeah.
Like
he has a baseball glove attachment one.
Give me my glove, darling. All the little details about Hook's like attachment to his hook and the various attachments he can attach to his hook.
Yeah,
that's all great.
Oh, I forgot. I love the scene, the boo box scene, where he's like the boo box to that guy, and they put him in the box with the little scorpions, and then they're opening up the thing and just going boo, boo. A lot of little fun stuff.
I was getting Spielberg was calling back because we never see the kidnapping. But it gets kind of close encounters of the third kindy when Hook arrives. I was thinking they were going to get alien snatch.
Yeah.
Little Danny's going to come out the boo wee woo.
They got the lights and the mist, and then the doors flying open and stuff. You know.
Oh look, it's that squadron that disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle.
You got the little kids saying they're coming through the back door.
Whoa.
Splooge.
Pause.
Oh, also, the scene that kind of creeped me out a little bit, also during the food fight scene, is when they're like, "You're playing with us, Peter. You're playing with us, Peter."
You could only get away with that because Robin Williams is one of like the 3 men in the world that can like do that part and not come off like a pedophile.
Maybe like Jim Carrey, probably.
It was like Jim Carrey, Tom Hanks, maybe.
Tom Hanks, he's like a real life.
Tom Hanks literally played Mr. Rogers, who is the most.
He did, but he doesn't have the charisma for it, though. I mean, he was Woody in Toy Story, but we didn't see his face.
You don't think Jim Carrey? Jim Carrey's a weird guy. Do we trust him with the kids?
But I'm saying, like, as far as like the slapsticky stuff,
Jim
Carrey could pull that off. I don't think Tom Hanks could. But
I think you're wrong.
Anyways. Are we in the performance?
We're in
It's
an
art. Okay. Yeah. The sets looked all right. The music is great. The music is by John Williams again.
Back again.
He's back again with another banger. That he rarely misses. Yeah. It just the score it soars, and it's very like. I don't know. It's got that Hallmarky feel, and it's very lighthearted, and it's just it's great.
I do love, just the set design, especially of like the Lost Boys area. There's just so many fun details tucked in the background.
Yeah.
I love the little bridge where Thud meets up with Robin Williams and says, "Give that one guy his marbles back. He lost them."
Oh, Tibbles or whatever that guy's name is. Yeah.
And then they hear the song, and then they look over, and they can see Like they composite the ship into the distance.
Yeah.
And they're looking over, and the music is soaring, and it looks nice.
Everybody's
and then the girls
blowing out their candles.
That little girl's singing kind of mid, but whatever.
Yeah, we didn't need that. But the pirates were very invested in that song during that scene.
Also, I just have questions for where that little girl went for most of the movie.
Yeah, she was. Well, Hook didn't really have a need for her. He liked little boys better.
Yeah.
Yeah, Peter Pan makes me a little uncomfortable. The whole story, it's kind of, it's a little bizarre.
I'm a boy that'll never grow up.
Well, it's like they're kidnapping these children constantly. Because, I mean, you think about it. If you look at the Lost Boys set, there's like modern stuff in it. And it's like, well, this was set in like originally set in like, had to be like the 1950s, 40s. Like, I don't know. And then it's like, so were kids getting taken after that? Like Lost Boys, orphans and stuff? Because they were riding skateboards and shit. I don't know. I was just...
Yeah, Rufio's like appearance really gave me like TMNT.
Yeah, he was a 90s kid. Yeah.
Vibes. Like he's a member of the Foot Clan.
That's racist, number one.
The Foot Clan are a particular race?
They're Asian.
Oh, shit.
Obviously, they're ninjas.
I just knew they were... The turtles are ninjas.
Yeah, but, I mean, Master Splinter is
They're
also
adopted by an Asian rat.
Which makes so much sense. We need to do that movie sometime. The original TMNT is great.
I do just like enjoy the 90s vibe. The real sets, the big casts, the
lightheartedness
music.
Of it.
Yeah.
It's fun, and it's not a miserable nightmare. If this movie was made today, it would be ultra serious.
It has dark moments, but
it does. But that doesn't undercut the lightheartedness of it, the fun factor. So
I was wondering when we get to the big battle at the end, I'm like, okay, so there's dozens of children and pirates, and they all have swords. How are we getting through this without a lot of gore?
Well, Rufio died. He got knifed in the chest.
Rufio did die. R.I.P. to Rufio.
R.I.P. Rufio. He was a real one.
Let's move on to, hey, what are you trying to say?
All right, let me just get that last measurement on your
Thank you. You know, I need this for the wedding.
Okay, well,
I need it really quickly. Like
it could take about a week to do.
It could take a week?
Mm-hmm.
So, what are you trying to say? He's trying to say that I'm so big, my bum is so big, you need to order to various countries far away to get enough material to make a pair of pants so I can fit my incredibly obese buttocks into a pair of your specially made little suit.
No, I mean I'm the only one working here this week.
Oh, okay.
And I gotta say, as a person who's going to be returning back to school to work with elementary kids, the message of don't lose your, I don't know, childlike wonder.
Yeah.
Don't get so up to the ears with your daily, BS and not enjoy the life that's in front of you.
If you're trying to work and provide for your family, stop.
Quit.
You guys will be fine on the street.
You'll never be apart.
Your kids may be hungry, but hey, they love you.
They'll be helpful when you hold that little sign. Yeah. That way you get some more guilt points.
Yeah, just have them look like all puppy-eyed and stuff.
Yeah.
That's major buckos right there.
That's when I know for sure I should give them some money. When they're just going to use their children as props.
Yeah, the ending of this movie should just be Peter Pan panhandling. Panhandling? Peter Panhandle with his children. Because, he learned the value of family. And that's really what this movie is. It's a film about family.
It's a film about family. And that's what's so important about it.
It's about family. And that's what's so powerful about it.
It is funny that Steven Spielberg has talked openly about this being like very directly modeled after his own relationship with his own father that was kind of strained. Because at the end of this movie, so this movie just kind of Peter Pan is Jesus, and Peter Pan has been prophesied. And everybody's just so excited that Peter Pan's back and he's the best.
And
that's kind of like how he fixes his broken relationship by just realizing that he's the best.
Yeah.
I mean, the movie, I suppose he's realizes that it's still a joy to be a father. That's what it's supposed to be, but it doesn't quite hit.
And his kids aren't any less annoying at the end, so that doesn't really help either. But I mean,
I love when they're having the final duel, which, oh my God, as I was getting done with this movie, when the duel ends and then he pulls another sword out of his shirt, I'm like, no! Because we still have to do the Merry and Pippin jumping on the bed sequence when everybody comes back, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we still have to, which I love when the kids come back, they're like, wait, don't wake up mommy. We'll wait till it's more dramatic. Stop.
Who's the better bromance, Sam and Frodo or Captain Hook and Smeagol?
Sam and Frodo, easy, because Captain Hook and Smee, they're like that couple that you're like, why don't you break up already?
It's a little toxic. And then Sam and Frodo are like, you guys should just fuck.
Right.
That's pretty much it for themes.
That everybody hates lawyers, because he's like, I'm a lawyer, and then they're like, kill him.
That must be another Spielberg trope.
Spielberg hates lawyers.
He doesn't like lawyers.
He also was recently divorced. So that's some divorced energy. He's blood-sucking. He's just murdering lawyers in movies.
I mean, honestly, that's probably what I'd do as if I was a filmmaker, is like anybody I didn't like or any like group of people I didn't like, I would just showcase them getting
Name all those
murdered.
groups right now.
Try to get me canceled over here, bro. Can't do it. I'm just going to be quiet. Just going to be a bunch of people with red hats. Getting eaten by alligators.
So Los Angeles Angels fans.
Yes.
They're miserable anyways.
Obviously. Shall we move on to Let the Hate Flow Through?
This is where we air out our annoyances and our complaints.
Good. Use your aggressive feelings, boy. Let the hate flow through you.
So I think the first thing I want to get to is the Tinkerbell and Peter kiss the Reylo moment of this movie. You know, when Rey and Kylo Ren kiss at the end of the third sequel,
for sure.
And you're like, wait, what?
Completely
That's
out of
what
left
this
field
movie is doing?
and unnecessary. Number one, because he's married. Number two, because he was a child before this.
Yeah.
And before, like, you haven't seen him since he was a child. Why do you have this sexual energy towards him? It's bizarre.
Annie, you've grown up so much. It's like Star Wars. It rhymes.
Everything leads back.
I think it was just because they're like, damn, we got Julia Roberts on set.
Yeah. You have to have her do something
She's
sensual.
an it girl. I don't know. I don't get it. It's weird. And then it's also weird that she decides to be back. Like, she can be a human-sized fairy.
It was because he believed hard enough.
There's a lot of stuff that is because Peter, you're believing now.
And she was most attracted to him when he was in his his childlike stage, where he learned to be Peter Pan again. And he was talking to her like, he was talking to her like a fucking child. It was weird, bro. I don't know.
Yeah. They toned it down as the movie went on, but when he first returns and he's like fully Peter Panned.
Yeah.
How like fucking weird his hair is.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm Peter Pan now, so my hair's got to be messy.
So they're trying to make him look youthful, but it's just like 40-year-old Robin Williams, which is not really working. And he's just not got a face that goes backwards in time. You know, some people can age down with just a hair switch. He does not.
Also, the alligator at the end was terrible.
What was that?
I don't know. It was just like a clay alligator, like a paper mache alligator that fell on Captain Hook, and I guess it like ate him, but its jaws never closed or anything. It was weird. I don't know.
It was their way to have him die/disappear without Peter Pan having to be a murderer.
Also, the budget was probably running a little thin, so they didn't want to like CG the alligator or anything.
I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand what that was. The Tinkerbell effect is pretty iffy.
Yeah.
We're just reaching our grasp on this one.
I thought it looked really great when she was in like the dollhouse.
Yeah,
it looked really good.
There's moments where it looks good, but when it's clearly like her being cropped into the frame of a regular size actor, it just looks really wonky, especially when you like zoom in on her face and it's like the light match is just wrong.
Yeah. The movie is entirely too long, like you were saying. Did not need to be this long. Spielberg, I think, has a thing. If we're talking about our next movie, which is Minority Report, I think it's the same type of deal where it's like you think it's going to end, but it just keeps going. And a little bit of that in Jurassic Park too. Jurassic Park 2, there's a lot of that, especially at the end when you get into San Francisco.
So, I feel like you can do the, and one more thing wrap up. Like, that's a good trick to have in your bag.
Yeah. Use it sparingly, I think.
But
and in the
I
right
think
context.
if you're going to do the and one more thing, the like wrap up at the end needs to be like succinct and quick. And no, it's like the kids come home and then Robin Williams says goodbye to the Lost Boys. And then he flies home and the kids go and hide and they wait. And then the mom wakes up. But wait, she doesn't wake up until Wendy comes up there. And then Wendy and the mom, they find out the kids are there and they say, hi, Mom. And then Peter Pan flies in, picks up the phone and then he has to climb up the there and then he has to go. And it's just like.
Yeah, it's too much.
It's just too much. Everybody just needs to go home at the same time, smile, hug. Fucking credits. Let's get out of here.
And I think that's another thing too, where it's just like this movie is chaotic. There's a lot going on, a lot, and it's almost like there's too many extras. There's too many. You didn't need this many people. Like this pirate crew. I'm like, how many fucking people do you need? You know, usually a pirate crew is like what, 12, 13 people. Yeah, you don't need all that. It was a little too much.
Too much, he says.
And the Lost Boys too. It was like a small army of children. Like, I thought I was watching the Coney documentary.
I do feel like Spielberg likes kids. Pause. And he likes to, and he likes to just, he loves a theater kid and just let him like go.
Yeah.
Give him a little moment. There's a lot of that with the Lost Boys.
I get kind of sad when I watch these movies, and you see a lot of child actors, and you're like, oh, these kids are all fucked up. They're all fucked up now. You know what I mean? Especially after watching like what is it, Quiet on the Set, just stuff like that, and you think about these kids, and you're like, oh man, they probably went through hell, all of them. You ever watch the Mighty Ducks movies?
Yeah.
Do you know the kid named Goldberg? He was like the chubby Jewish kid.
And I couldn't remember the characters, but yeah, sure. Let's go ahead.
So he was a big actor at that time, and there was like a picture of him recently, and he was just like strong the fuck out. He looked like he was 80 years old and was on drugs, and
I remember.
My heart, man.
I mean, it happens to any.
Macaulay Culkin it happened to, but he's like since turned around and he's doing good now. And
same for like what is it, Haley Joel Osment?
Yeah, a lot of those kids, man.
Daniel Radcliffe thriving, and he's like the biggest example. Recently.
Who was the kid in Stand By Me? The Stand By Me kid.
Rivers Phoenix.
Yeah. Same with him too. But his whole thing was like he had a lot of abuse going on and stuff with the producers and different, just bizarre stuff. And then it's like that leads into a larger topic of like, obviously we don't have to get into it, but just the disgusting nature of Hollywood and how they deal with children. And you see some of that kind of stuff in this movie where it's just like odd choices where you're sexualizing children or just weird different things where it's like you didn't need that, and it's bizarre. And also with some of these older stories, they don't handle that subject very well, and they're not as like politically correct. Mm-hmm. Especially Peter Pan. It's just the whole idea of Lost Boys, all these children on this island with adults. It just doesn't look too good. It doesn't quite jive as much as it used to, and makes me feel a little icky after watching it, that's for sure. Anyways, let's move on to our final question. Is this a perfect movie?
You lost a baby brother. Perfect in every way.
I had a baby brother. I had a little baby brother, and he was perfect. Perfect in every way.
No, it's not. There's honestly a moment, maybe when I was like 45 minutes in, where I was like, maybe it's approaching that level. Like I was surprised by how much I was enjoying it. By the end, I was like, turn it off.
Yeah,
we're done.
Yeah, it overstayed its welcome. There's a couple scenes. There's a lot of heart. And a lot of passion from Robin Williams. I think he's one of those actors where he doesn't he hams it up, but he doesn't he's not Harrison Ford. He wants to be there for the most part, it seems like. Maybe that doesn't really correlate with his personal life too much. I think he probably found the most joy when he was working. But he's just an all-time great, and he's very admired by his peers as well. If you ever like watch interviews of people talking about Robin Williams, a lot of comedians are like, the reason why I got into the business at all was because of Robin Williams, just because of what he did and his influence and just the way he was able to work a crowd and exude this childlike energy. And I don't know where he got all this energy from. I don't know where he pulled it out from. I wish I had some of that. But yeah, I think he deserves all the accolades. He's one of the greats for sure. And
it's kind of on the nose that he's the older Peter Pan, because I feel like the theme of so many of his movies is the like, can you find your childlike wonder in Jumanji?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Can you find the wonder in Dead Poets Society?
Yeah.
You know, the joy of life. Like, he's like the zest for life guy.
For sure. Or like Mrs. Doubtfire, it's almost the opposite, where he's like, he's too childlike.
Yeah.
And he's got to learn how to reel it back a little bit for his children, for his family, and for the sake of his family and stuff, and dress up like a woman.
In RV, it's I don't know. I haven't seen it. Will this RV go off a cliff?
RV is one of those road trip gone bad, nothing goes right kind of movies. National Lampoon. Yeah, if you haven't, I recommend Hook. If you want to watch like a good, not good, but like a decent,
not good,
a decent like Hallmark 90s film. It's got a great 90s vibe to it. It's fun. It's lighthearted. It's got a lot of heart. The cast is great. I say go for it. Check it out.
I'd recommend. It's enjoyable.
It's very, it feels like one of those movies like Spielberg kind of just pulled out of nowhere. I think he like needed to fill a slot or something. And maybe he had this idea for a while.
And if you compare it to any of these like retread, reboot, Disney remake things that keep happening, I mean, this is like so much better and more inspired than it.
Another Star Wars connection.
What?
It was produced by Kathleen Kennedy.
What? No, I think they're all in the same. Kathleen Kennedy is like often associated with. I think like she's associated with DreamWorks, which is a Spielberg thing.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but
I don't remember what I was saying now. But I'd also recommend it. It's enjoyable enough
for sure.
All right, shall we say sayonara until next week?
Adios.
Okay, so next episode will be Minority Report as we continue our Steven Spielberg summer series.
Almost towards the end there, buddy. We're summer is flown by.
Summer is going. Yeah, we might only maybe do 2 more movies. To come up with a new theme. I don't know. Get through September. We'll call September summer.
Getting close to spooky season, so we're gonna have to throw in some horror stuff for sure.
Yeah, let's go through September maybe.
Yeah,
and then October spook season.
Maybe we'll definitely like catch up on some of the newer releases stuff. Maybe we'll do another one of those kind of bonus episodes where we just talk about what came out. And yeah. Until next time.
Kaylin, do you want to? This actually wasn't me doing the bit where I never end the podcast. This was me just asking a question. Let's hash out on the next episode. At the end, what movies we do next.
Sure.
Of Spielberg's. All right. So, look forward to that in the next episode. See you guys next time.
Oh, also, I just want to say thanks for reviewing, man. We're like almost 90 episodes deep. I've been going on for like almost 2 years now. So, and then we appreciate it. The 3 of people that watch.
Hard agree. Our dedicated fan.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny because you would the amount of people that come up to me and tell me that they watch our stuff. It's pretty cool. So, just want to throw that in there. Appreciate you guys.
Hey guys, if you made it to the end of the podcast, this one's for you.
I don't think anybody's ever made it to the end.
You never do. Did you like how I started the last episode with just a terrible harmonica cover of Jurassic Park?
I really appreciated the end song you had going. It was pretty dope. It was pretty great.
All right.
Dodson.
You gotta listen to the end of there's usually a nugget at the end.
You see Michael's editing skills coming in
Or-
towards the end. You always do.
Or we just say something really like offensive. So it could be one or the other.
That's why we haven't gotten canceled yet,
Because
because nobody goes all the way through. All right.
Next episode, we're doing the Minority Report. Kaylin, as a minority, how do you feel about that?
I wasn't very represented in Minority Report. I was expecting a lot more black people.
Well, it's ironic because the minority is a white woman in this case.
I mean, they are like they're such a overlooked people,
but also like a crack baby. So
wow.
All right, did we cross the line? Did we find the line?
No, you had to say something offensive before that, so it works out. We're good.
Tune in for more of that in Minority Report.